Hello and welcome to 8th grade social studies star prep. You got the 7-minute mastery series here. Today we're going to be talking about some early US government. So let's get started. Well, the Declaration of Independence. This was written by Thomas Jefferson and signed by the Second Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776. It's worth noting that the men who signed this, like the famous first signature of John Hancock, were potentially signing their lives away as they were admitting to rebellion against their king. So, what was the Declaration of Independence? Essentially, it was a statement to the King of England and to the rest of the world saying, we, these colonies, are declaring our independence. We will no longer be dependent on you. We will no longer be part of the British Empire. So there was a war to be fought afterwards, but this was the original declaration. Here is an excerpt from it. All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies. Quick interpretation of what we just heard. The part that we see most often on the test is talking about certain unalienable rights. Unalienable means you cannot be removed from these rights. You're essentially born with these rights. As a human, you're born with these rights. That's the idea. Those rights are explicitly stated here as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Right here, he's saying that the king did a lot of things that are unjust and unright, and it's the right of those people who were governed, in this case, the colonies, to overthrow that government after patiently enduring it for so long. So what were those things that they patiently endured? I'm going to read these quickly. Try to keep up with me. But this is a really condensed version. It was much longer than this. I've just condensed it down here. To prove that, this is his statement, Thomas Jefferson, to prove this, let's let facts be submitted to a candid world. And here's my condensed version of what those facts were. 28 of them. The king refused to agree to the right laws, forbidden governors from performing the right laws, refused to let people be represented, called legislatures together in strange times and places, making it nearly impossible for people to attend, ended legislatures for opposing him, he disallowed others to be elected, discouraged migrants to the colonies, obstructed justice, made judges dependent on him alone, sent officers to harass, kept standing armies, made military independent of civil power, judged colonists according to foreign laws, quartered armies, protected his troops from murder charges by mock trial, cutting off trade with the rest of the world, taxes without consent, depriving of trial by jury, transporting us abroad for trials of pretended offenses, abolished English laws, removed charters and abolishing our laws, suspending our legislatures, waging war against us, plundered, ravaged, burnt, and destroyed us, bringing large armies of mercenaries to kill us in a reign of terror and tyranny unlike anything in human history, captured us, forcing us to fight against ourselves. He tried to get the Indians to savagely kill us. We've humbly petitioned, but he's refused as a tyrant. Those are just a few things. You might want to press pause and look over those again if you want. Sounds like a lot of reasons to be upset and want independence. Well, let's talk about what happened after that. The Articles of Confederation. It was first written in the United States and ratified March 1st, 1781. The Articles of Confederation basically were the first written structure of a government of these new United States after we declared our independence. The states remained sovereign and independent. States had the power, and the federal government was very weak in this government, the Articles of Confederation government. Each state had one congressional vote regardless of size. So the thing that you need to remember most about all of this is that the Articles of Confederation made for a very weak federal government and strong state rights. And they did this because they were afraid of a strong federal power, federal government. Congress was given authority to make treaties and alliances, maintained armed forces, and coin money, though it took at least 9 of the 13 states in order to pass a decision. But the federal government couldn't levy taxes, couldn't regulate commerce, there was no judicial system, and there was no president. So it was a very weak federal government. All right, so let's move on to some practice questions. The Articles of Confederation allowed each state only one vote in Congress. Which question reflects a major concern states had about this arrangement? Press pause, and then I'll give you the answer once you've figured it out on your own. All right, here we go. Here's the answer. Should more populous states receive greater representation? Again, we said that each state only had one representative vote in the Articles of Confederation. June, the Continental Congress appoints a committee to prepare a document. The committee selects Thomas Jefferson to compose a draft. The draft is reviewed and revised by the committee. In July, Congress debates and revises the document. Congress officially approves the document. This sequence of events resulted in the adoption of the, press pause, here's your answer, Declaration of Independence. We saw that Thomas Jefferson wrote it. In July, they approved it. That's July 4th. John Hancock was one of the founding fathers committed to liberty. How did he demonstrate this commitment? Press pause. Here's your answer. By signing the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock did a lot more than that, so this is not the greatest question. But we know he wanted to prove that he was committed to liberty. He was the famous first signature on the Declaration of Independence. Which of these is a grievance from the Declaration of Independence? Press pause. Here's your answer. Colonists were forced to quarter troops in their homes. Why was it difficult for Congress to fulfill its duties under the Articles of Confederation? Press pause. Here's your answer. Most congressional decisions required the approval of at least 9 states. All right, guys, that's it for this lesson. Thanks for participating.